Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of PTR Radio here on the fabulous interweb. Still working on intros, but we have background music. Hopefully, you guys heard the music.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yes, we did.
All right. So, well, that's good. So, welcome, everybody. Sorry we had to delay our show last week, but there's been some changes here in the studio, and we will get to those. But Colin, first of all, welcome back.
Thank you.
You were on your world tour, and we're glad to have you back in the studio. So you're gonna have to let us know how did life in the islands go?
Well, it was good. Had a good time.
Okay. Did you visit any nude beaches or anything while you were gone? I mean, anything exciting that we need to know about?
Did you say new beaches or nude beaches? But not.
No, you know what he said. It's Shaggy.
I mean,
You know what he said.
I have no idea if such things exist in any of those places because it's all the United States.
Okay. But it was the Bahamas, right?
But the Bahamas was the private island of Royal Caribbean.
Okay.
And then the other two spots were San Juan, Puerto Rico, and St. Thomas, both of which are technically U.S.
I mean, there are nude beaches. Okay, wait a second. There's no legal nude beaches in San Juan. All right. Well, that's disappointing. But let's see here. Actually, legal nude beaches do not exist. Okay. Or in the Bahamas. Boy, I am very disappointed. What good is having an island if you can't have a nude beach? I mean, do these people not know what island life is about? I mean, this is just ridiculous.
Shaggy, we have a saying here in Jersey that I think needs to make its way to you. And it kind of applies to nude beaches as well. But we have this saying down the Jersey Shore in the club scene that spandex is a privilege, not a right. So you just stop and think about this the next time you see Gangsta Granny walking around.
I'm just
okay, on a nude beach. Tanny Granny, you don't need it. All right? I'm just saying.
I mean, have you been to...
You have to go by the lowest denominator here.
So you are not a visitor to Gunnison Beach, New Jersey?
I am well aware of the nude beach in New Jersey, and no, I am not. People at work talked about wanting to go to this nude beach for a beach cleanup volunteer day because we get a paid day off to volunteer for a cause. And they're like, oh, let's go clean up the beach. Some jackass says there's a nude beach that probably needs to be cleaned up. I looked around the room and I smacked him in the head. I said, do you really want to see half of these fucking people nude on the beach? He said, no, but I want to see the other half. I said, I'm not willing to make that sacrifice.
See, even Google wants to help you. So.
There are lines that I will not cross with my coworkers. That is one of them.
And it's the one that says may see nudity past this point. Is that line?
Correct.
All right. Okay. Oh man. But no. So yeah. Well, we're like I said, glad you're back, Colin. So, later on in the show, we will be reviewing our movie finally. So, hopefully, Colin, given this much amount of time, you have had a chance to watch Novocaine.
Yes, see if I can still remember it. Yes.
Okay. All right. So we will be reviewing that movie finally. and then moving on to our next movie. Because otherwise, at the rate we're going, we'll be into Christmas films before we move on. But I'll tell you what, it's been a crazy weather day here today, Mike. Yes. There have
Continues.
been, yes, and it'll continue until about 7:30, 8 o'clock tonight, I think. But yeah, we were in severe storm and tornado, watches in effect.
Actually, I did hear about that because some of the folks that I work with in the Midwest had to evacuate to the offices to, yeah.
Yeah. So let's see here, how many, I'm trying to figure out. Illinois now leads the country. We finally lead the country in something, Mike, other than,
Governors in jail.
Governors in jail, and illiteracy and obesity and heart attacks. But we lead the country in tornadoes for 2026 so far.
Hold on, obesity and heart attacks. Well, if y'all stop, y'all came up with the horseshoe, which is still glorious, and I still need to have one. But anyway,
we're at 90. Well, as of April 23rd, which I'm sure this number has been exceeded now, because there was several watches out today. We were at 99 as of last Friday, which normally by this time of year we're at 54. So we're almost double.
Well,
we are leading the pack.
This is where the Jersey politicians would say global warming. But
well, and other politicians would say
let's just talk about
it's windmills. They're stirring up all the air.
The weather for a second, okay? So you guys had the tornado watch. Last week, we had 3 days where it was in the mid 80s to hot, almost 90, and then it dropped down to 40.
Yep, been there.
Okay. Mother Nature is completely off her meds at this point. It is 37 when I leave for work in the morning at about 7 a.m. and it is 70 by the time I'm getting out of work. I don't know how to dress for work anymore.
We made the decision at
because
work.
Not only is Mother Nature screwed up and off her meds, but that just means our HVAC guys are sitting there. They're just like,
they're just playing whack-a-mole.
Heat. Okay. Yeah. Today we're going to do more heat.
At work, we decided that Mother Nature is going through the change. So, or as the kids now call it, perimenopause.
They have no idea what to do, man.
No,
we don't use that word. We don't say that. We don't speak about that.
About perimenopause?
No.
Do we just call it the big M?
No. We just say this is tasty. This is a tasty beverage. That's what we say. We'll talk about it.
Yep. I tell you what, though, changing subjects for a second. Somehow I got on a list for property managers, I guess, or property owners, like commercial property owners. And I have no idea how, but my work email address got added to this list of commercial property owners because about weekly now, I get an email asking me if I would like to sell our building at work. Or if I would like to install solar panels on the roof. I'm seriously considering selling the building.
It sounds almost like the business version of would you like to sell your timeshare?
I mean, I told someone else at work, and they had a
Does your
great
building
idea.
have a warranty by any chance?
I mean,
Just asking.
I'm thinking about replying and going, yeah, you know what? I am interested in selling this building. It'll be cash sale, but I'm out of the state, so we'll have to do everything over email. So,
Wire transfer.
yes.
Cayman Islands.
I prefer my money in iTunes gift cards. So,
Bitcoin.
Yeah, Bitcoin. Ooh.
Yeah. I prefer my money in Disney gift cards.
Or they can just
which
pay
is what
me.
I always tell people.
Pay me in RAM. Right now, it's as good as gold.
True. Better than gold.
Send me some DDR5. In a couple of weeks, it'll double its value. I almost bought. I was perusing through the government auctions, and Illinois is selling a lot of like 209 laptops, and I almost put in a bid of like $1,000 just so that I could steal all of the RAM and the hard drives out of them and resell it at a profit. I really didn't care about the laptop. Oh yeah, these were actually modern laptops. They were all like DDR4, DDR4, DDR5.
Okay, but the question is, was it soldered or not?
No, these are all removable sticks.
Okay.
Some of these are like really good laptops too. One of them I'm using right now. It's got like an RTX A4000 in it. I have no idea why they're surplusing this stuff.
Yeah, they're not using ThinkPads, so it's all pretty serviceable things.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm like, you know what? Even if I bought that for $1,000, I could definitely make my money back. Even if I had to pay $2,000, I could make my money back easy. It's just convincing my wife that I need a place to store 209 laptops. And that, hey, we're gonna be out a couple grand for a while I recoup my costs.
I thought I had a problem with 100 pounds of fresh pet trying to store that.
I don't know, but so we do have items on the white sheet today.
We do.
So first off, I want to talk about this article that I just saw today that has to be the stupidest thing I've ever heard anybody say regarding AI. And it comes to us from one of a real life supervillain who's just one volcano layer away. Elon Musk is saying that saving for retirement is irrelevant because AI is going to create a world of abundance, so it won't matter. In other words, you will want for nothing because the AI overlords will just provide for everything for you.
Well, AI and robotics.
Yes.
So
he specifically says saving for retirement is pointless thanks to the impending supersonic tsunami of AI and robotics, which will bring about a world of zero scarcity. I'm like, wait, this is not Star Trek. All right?
Yeah,
we are not
AI does not grow food.
No, we don't have replicators yet.
In playing devil's advocate here, because somebody on the show has to right now.
Okay.
Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah.
If AI could be a useful tool when it comes to farming and robotics, obviously. Well, robotics, everybody, I think we can agree where that fits in.
Yeah.
Equation, right?
I mean,
obviously,
you've already got
planting, whatever.
You got GPS guided tractors
to analyze. AI could be used to analyze the soil. Could be used to forecast the weather to determine what crops along with the soil analysis, what crops will best grow there, therefore maximizing harvests
Yeah.
and yields. So could I see it helping in these areas that normally you wouldn't think about it? Yeah. Supersonic tsunami? No. You have lost your damn mind.
And
In the world of zero scarcity, there's even regardless of how much robot labor. Look, we all watch The Electric State.
yeah,
Okay, we know what's going to happen if and Terminator. We've all seen all of the iRobot. We've seen what happens when the robots get pissed off. Battlestar Galactica.
the
We've seen it.
Matrix.
We know what's going to happen, right?
Up.
Can't
Sirens are going off.
what?
Yeah.
Sirens are going off.
Luckily, we're both in basements.
Yeah. I'm waiting for my wife to say, "Hey, can you help get the dogs downstairs?" We'll see.
Well,
Either that or come out on
Okay.
the deck with me and let's watch.
oh,
One of those two things
you
is
do.
going to
You better,
happen.
if you do, you better remote in. Could be epic.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be in danger, though. Let's be
Yeah.
real clear about that, people. I don't want anybody in danger.
Mm-hmm.
But seriously, if we got to cut this short because
Yeah.
you guys do have an issue, please.
I'll let you know.
I don't know. I think this is Musk just trying to pump up his
Oh yeah.
XAI value. But that's. I keep saying it. AI is a tool, and if used properly, there is a benefit.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yes.
I shared a reel that shows just how effed we are. As we're cooked. We're cooked, fam. We are cooked.
Yeah.
Somebody taking an iPad saying, "I can't read this clock. I don't know how to tell time."
And it's
Never
an
mind the
analog
fact
clock.
the clock's batteries are dead. I can't read the numbers on this clock. But luckily, ChatGPT can. That's how it is. You
Yeah.
clock right there. There's a clock right there.
Yeah. It's just ridiculous.
It should be a tool, not a crutch.
Yes.
Jesus, those are the ones that are going to be. The robot overlords are going to. Your best serve. You're going to be a battery. Okay, you're going to be a battery in the Matrix. If you need ChatGPT to look at a clock and tell you what time it is, using a device that has a fucking clock. And ChatGPT got it wrong in the reel, by the way, which.
Well, and
does
it's
make
not going to
mistakes,
know.
people.
It's not going to know AM or PM, even if it does read the clock. So you know.
I find interesting is using Copilot to do anything. It's like you watch Copilot. It's like, oh, it doesn't just go to ChatGPT. It goes to like 6 different engines. It's like, oh, yes, this question. Oh, that's so we have one engine at Microsoft that figures out which of the other engines can actually answer that question correctly.
Well, and I mean, I don't know. It's just so. I mean, now they've got AI doing stocks for you. Have you seen the reels on the automatic AI stock trading?
Okay, so I want to talk about this one real quick because it keeps popping up in my feed. Finello talking about $20 and didn't touch it. Just did. What they don't tell you is Finello is a simulation that you pay for. Your AI, you don't get real money. Right?
Yeah. I
And
mean,
this
Which-
is no different than what's that one that
Which fine, at
piggybacks
least you don't
the-
lose real money. You know?
True, but no, actually you do because you're paying for the monthly service. What's the one that tracks the senators or Congress's stock trading?
Oh, I don't. Yeah.
Right. There's the one where you can pick a congressperson and whatever trades they make, you make.
Quiver Quantitative is one. Capital Trades is another. Congress Stock Trades Tracker.
But
Yeah.
what those don't tell you is they're delayed.
Yeah.
Right. So if Nancy Pelosi or Mitch McConnell are trading now, you can best believe that your trade that hits 20 minutes from now is not going to be the same value. You believe that.
Yeah. But here's the bigger problem is that we've had stock market crashes in the past from prior algorithms where people they had an algorithm to try to figure out how to trade automatically.
Remember
and then everybody was using it.
GameStop? Yeah.
Well, GameStop was that was
what was the deli in the mom and pop deli in New Jersey that somehow got a $2 billion or $2 million IPO because somebody valued their LLC using some algorithm that was wrong.
I mean, the problem is if the AI predicts that something is going to be going up, and so everybody using the AI buys that, then the price goes up because everybody's buying it.
Well,
and pretty soon what happens is that all the stocks are now ballooned above what they really should be because there is no actual value there. It's just the AI's creating value where nothing's there. And then once someone figures it out, then you have a crash.
And
so you need,
ladies and gentlemen, Colin just
AI.
explained crypto in a nutshell.
So what you need is an AI that's watching what the other AI is doing, and then you do the opposite.
Yeah, I was going to ask, when are we creating our meme coin? You know?
We are not creating a meme coin. We are not creating a meme coin. We are not creating... Okay, when are you going to create a meme coin? Because... I ain't going to be no hawk tool where you pump and dump kind of thing. Let's just be real clear about that. If we do it, we're doing it in-house. We ain't letting any idiots manage this for us. And if we're lucky, we'll make $1.
Oh, I just figured it'd be a meme coin that only has 3 coins, and we each have one of them.
Oh, yeah. We can just use pump.fun. You can create your own meme coin for free.
Okay. Why not?
Oh.
Speaking of Haley Welch, did you see that she came out of hiding recently to try and break the curse of the great Mambino? You guys hear? Well, you guys probably didn't hear about this one. So the New York Mets, when the mayor of New York City met the Mets mascot, Mr. and Mrs. Met, and gave him a hug, immediately that game and immediately after, they went on a 12-game losing streak, which is like the longest in a decade for the Mets.
There was a question.
The curse of the Mambino.
There was a question whether it was that or whether it was Seth, because the same night, same day, he went to Seth Meyers' show and took a picture with Wally the cue card guy, who was and gave Wally a custom jersey with his name on it, but Wally is a White Sox fan.
No, it's Mayor Mamdani hugging Mr. Met.
Yeah.
So Haley Welch, aka Hawk Tour.
Yes.
She offered to try and break the curse by making out with Mr. Met.
Okay. Yeah.
That makes up for the whole meme coin thing, I think, right?
Somebody says, can she hit with runners in scoring positions?
Well, maybe.
You know, somebody else says their Mets are so bad they're interviewing her. She escaped the evil clutches of Bill Maher. She's capable of anything.
All right, so I actually saw her interview about the whole thing, and I truly believe she got raked over the coals. Like she had not. Look, we've talked about it briefly on the show before. If you think that she had the intelligence to set up a meme coin, pump and dump, and then disappear, no,
not a chance.
No. Because if it was that easy, we'd have done it.
Yes.
Sorry, guys, we would have. So, all right. I saw this one on the white sheet, and we got to talk about this one here.
Mm-hmm.
California.
Yes.
California is a crazy place to begin with.
Uh-huh.
You know this. California is now looking to bless polyamorous unions, plural marriage, multi-partner relationships will be legal if this passes.
Yes.
This has got to be the dumbest possible thing.
Yeah.
That
as is said in the article, it is fraught with problems. Okay. Now,
fraught with is not. That's being kind.
There are all kinds of issues. Experts say multi-partner families are increasingly common in the Bay Area. Chloe noted that they were recently outbid for a house by another triad with a child, yet without laws allowing for domestic partnerships of 3 or more people, they are left spending thousands of dollars on attorney's fees to craft a patchwork of legal agreements that afford just a small fraction of the contractual protection conferred to married couples by default. That's what kind of comes from this article.
All right. So what they are basically saying is we choose to live polyamorously.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to come up with a separate contract amongst ourselves, and that costs money. Okay. One, you chose the lifestyle.
Well, not only that, but they're saying we really can't even get all of even through this patchwork of legal agreements, we cannot create the same, standards by which a typical, duality couple can do. Even, a homosexual couple can get for themselves. All right. Don't even play into it the tax benefits and everything. But like this couple had to have multiple dispensations and legal agreements in place just for the 3 of them to be in the delivery room during the delivery of their child. So, just the fact of, hey, to have these 3 people in the delivery room took like moving the earth. And I say this as somebody who follows a throuple on YouTube. So, which surprises neither one of my co-hosts.
Absolutely does not surprise either one of us. In fact, I would be shocked if you told us you didn't.
Yes.
Follow them.
So,
my issue here, there is a flip side. There is a potential dark side to this.
Mm-hmm.
You take someone who is rich and powerful. We'll call him William Bates.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Got more money than he knows what to do with.
Yes.
He sees a homeless woman who might seem attractive. If you marry me, I will let you live in my house.
Mm-hmm.
And now William also gets the tax benefit. How does this work on a federal, from like a tax refund with dependents and married filing jointly? with 17 other people.
Well, I mean,
This is
There-
a way for the rich and powerful. Notice this is starting in West Hollywood. West Hollywood. This is the way. This is
There's
how
there's a argument to be made.
Baby Oil Bandit is going to get his harem.
There's an argument to be made, and this sounds really bad coming from me, a person who benefits from the married tax credit, that the married tax credit is a scam against single people. You know, that maybe we should not have a married tax credit. Maybe everyone should file individually instead. And then you get rid of all of these issues, because then you never would have had then you wouldn't have had the one of the core tenets in the gay marriage, issue, because they were all about the tax and everything else.
The only issue you have against something is that it's going to screw up taxes, that's not a great issue to be the thing that defines how you're treating
I'm just
people
saying,
on a day-to-day basis.
I know, but that's
I see this as a way for rich and powerful to abuse.
Well,
I see an inequality on the way that this could be.
Well, just remember that
place.
polyamorous is the new polygamy. All right? Because in another word, this is polygamy. Right?
Yes.
So we're changing a word and making it seem, less historically offensive. Because if you were to say, like, look at the the sister wives guy, right? There are plenty of people who think that guy's a pig. All right?
Yeah.
Because he is.
But
okay.
If you took those, if you didn't know that group and they said, "Oh, we're polyamorous," different connotation. All right? So there's a different thing. Because
no.
And the only reason I say that is because well, at least from the thruples and the polyamorous unions that I've seen out there, at least those that advertise on social media, they do not refer to themselves as sister wives or anything like that at all.
No, because sister wives was based off of the religious beliefs, right?
Yeah.
From their section, their branch of the Mormon Church.
Yeah.
And that's where sister wives comes from. Polyamorous is just multiple, and it doesn't define. Polyamorous actually, in my opinion, developed around the same time as the whole gender fluid thing, because all it's saying is you love multiple people, and it does not connotate any kind of gender. So you could have.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
I
guess it just depends, and
it could be a new way of saying swingers.
And I'm casting it into the people that I follow. So all I know is the one throuple that I follow in particular, they are very, and one of them is a therapist for unconventional lifestyle, folks. So it's an interesting dynamic, at least for me to follow and to hear about, because I like hearing about people who are different than me.
But I don't understand how this. Okay, so they're saying it addresses housing and healthcare discrimination. Why? Because it's not preventing, polyamory is not preventing them from buying a house. It is not preventing them. I don't know. I don't
understand the housing thing. I do understand the medical thing.
No, because the medical thing is simply person A gets in an accident, they are unconscious, they're going to be put into an ambulance and going to be taken to the hospital. And then let's say there's two other people in a relationship. One of them is legally married to person A, but they're currently overseas. Person C has no ability to do anything. So now person is in the hospital. For some reason, they can't get a hold of person C, and they cannot listen to a single thing that person B is saying.
or
person B cannot even go. They cannot even visit the hospital room because they are not technically, legally a relative. That's what they're talking about in the medical thing.
Okay, but how is that different than a husband and wife right now?
because
If Kim
be,
was in an accident and I was
Uh huh.
not reachable because I was somewhere else,
Right.
how
right,
does
but
that different now?
she
So now
doesn't.
you're discriminating against us because we are not polyamorous. So we are not being afforded
So
an
you're saying
additional
we need.
right.
No,
No,
they're saying we need to
This
find you a
goes both
third person through
ways.
the
no, no,
relationship.
no,
To see
This
what
goes both
happens.
ways.
no.
No.
But if you guys had a kid, that kid would be able to, right? Because they're related by blood. So there's a familial relationship there that's immediate.
So what we're talking about is the ability, if Kim was overseas and you're stuck in the hospital, for your dogs to come and visit you.
Playing the child role.
No,
I get what Colin is saying. Basically, they're saying they have no input. The third character, the third person has no input on medical decisions, unless they have worked out some type of share of, medical power of attorney or something like that. So
Even that doesn't work.
and it can be very, iffy. So
No, just to put my fall on this is I don't know why the government has any place in the whole marriage relationship thing in the first place, other than actual bigamy, where you have someone married to two different people that don't know about each other,
or underage marriage.
yes,
Non-consensual marriage. That for a long time, I actually thought, why does the government care about marriage at all? It's a religious institution.
it's because marriage is a business.
Oh, because the government made it a business. Like they've made a lot of things a business, but
So
should it be?
okay, so the healthcare thing, you could take this to the extreme and say if there was universal healthcare, then
someone still has to make medical decisions. Do we try this one thing? This might be risky, but if it works, they're gonna be completely back together. Or do we do this other thing, which is less risky, but it's not going to be effective? Somebody has to make that decision. Doctors can't make the decision.
Yeah, so it's a difference between like civil registration versus marriage. I don't know. We don't have the answer for it here, and we're not going to have the answer because we don't have enough beer. So it's the way it goes. Unless you have enough liquor, you are not going to have the answer.
let's find out.
Oh, that Malort is not the answer.
No, it's not. Oh God, it's worse.
Malort's never the answer. Oh.
Oh,
All right, so another thing on our list, and Mike, I think you brought this one up. William Shat.
the next Super Bowl halftime show needs to be William Shatner.
Too bad Leonard Nimoy's not around, or we could do the Bilbo Baggins song.
He's going to come back as a hologram.
Okay. Boy, that's a duet nobody asked for. So
Listen, as if William Shatner singing Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, Bohemian Rhapsody, and by singing, I'm using that term loosely because he's basically speaking accompanied by music. He is doing a heavy metal album featuring a venerable army of metal stars backing him up. Heavy metal extravaganza. And it's coming out this year. I'm telling you, before he dies, He needs to be the halftime show.
I don't know. Do you think that would be?
He has got Zach Wilde, Richie Blackmore, Henry Rollins.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. I gotta share this. Oh, here we go. Oh, that would be good. Oh,
He's going to be covering Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden. Okay, here's the problem. Here's the problem with this. I don't think we could have a Super Bowl halftime show that is essentially a cover band.
no, I don't think we can either. For the same reason you don't want Weird Al to do the Super Bowl.
Weird Al is not covers, they're parodies. I would love Weird Al to do the Super Bowl. I have been on board with Weird Al doing the Super Bowl. But I don't know. Of course, am I going to buy this album? This
No.
would be the first album I've bought in forever. This would be the first album I bought since all of MP3 got shut down.
Oh my god. Speaking of albums, I was watching one of the other YouTubers I watch is a guy who talks about Gen Xers, and he was
How many
reviewing.
wives does he have?
I don't know, but he was
Okay.
he was reacting to a Tic Tac video of this Gen Alpha
Oh,
kid.
wait, I'm sorry. A what?
A Tic Tac video of this Gen Alpha kid who goes, "Okay, it's another let's spin one of Grandpa's records and see how it is." And he goes, this time Megadeth, and he holds up a CD.
Yeah. That was the Dad Bod Veteran, wasn't it?
I don't think it was. I don't know what his name is, but I watch it.
Dad Bod Veteran has reacted to this guy as well. Let me just talk about this, okay? Dad Bod Veteran, the Professor guy, Real Slim Sherry, and Kelly Mano. These four are doing their Gen X takeover concerts and stuff. I think y'all have gotten a little bit too big for your britches. Like, I had to unfollow all of them because there comes a point where, I don't know, maybe that's just the life of the influencer. I don't understand it, but I don't need to see every detail about your life. I don't need you to explain to me how you're traumatized because you had to travel on this tour that you're getting paid for.
Oh, what about the girl, the woman with the blue hair, short blue hair? She's on that tour, along with the black guy with the gray hair and the beard goatee thing. Who headbangs to
we rock together. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Kelly's the one that kind of drove me a little.
Yeah.
And then they're doing a cruise. I don't want to be on a boat with you people. I see how you complain when you got to be in the car for too long. I don't want to be on a goddamn boat with you. Good Lord.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right, so Shaggy, of those laptops that you were we'll do this.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we got to get to the movie. I was gonna say there are no framework laptops in that.
No, there were no framework laptops in there. No, the state won't buy framework, unfortunately. But it would be cool. Let's talk about this real quick. So, one of the reasons why we had to delay the last show was because I made the decision, good, bad, or indifferent, to switch my main machine, which normally does all of the broadcasting, over because I was Windows 10, obviously end of life, and I was installing TurboTax, and TurboTax said, "I'm sorry, you can't run this under Windows 10. You need to be Windows 11 or better." So I installed Linux, and then it said, "Sorry, we won't run on Linux." I said, "Oh, crap. All right, I'll have to run this on my laptop because I'm too far down the rabbit hole now. I'm going to keep going Linux on my desktop." So my everyday driving desktop that runs 4 monitors, my printer, my, everything in my office, is now running Linux. So I have successfully moved just about everything over and am working in Linux with LibreOffice. And I tell you what, I don't care for LibreOffice right now. I'm still getting used to that. That's the biggest adjustment so far. I do miss Word.
So why aren't you just using Word?
Because you can't use Word on Linux unless you're running in the web interface, and that is terrible as well. So I don't want to run an application in a web app. All right, it's just no.
Okay, I mean the Mac has it, so I just figured they just had a Linux version of the Mac version.
No, they say just run it in Office 365. I'm like, no, that's not where I want to run it. Yeah. No, they make Visual Studio Code for Linux Direct, but they don't make their Office suite for it.
Well, that's because Visual Studio Code runs in Node.
So, but Linux is now up to 5% on the Steam index. So Steam games of everybody who uses Steam to play their games, 5% is now running some version of Linux, which is awesome. Unfortunately, the program I use to to broadcast the show, not Linux capable. It's Windows only. So I still will have to have some Windows machine running around here, which I knew I was going to have some Windows machine running. There's some stuff that you just have to have Windows for. But hopefully I only have to turn it on every once in a while. And I can just run it. I tell you what, I haven't really needed to reboot a whole lot, not nearly as often. I haven't had blue screens. I haven't had any of that crap. I'm using a distro called Zorin OS, which is meant for Windows expats, and seems to be running okay. Pretty happy. Any questions from you two? Especially you, Colin?
Nope. I mean, I literally cannot remember the last time I actually had Windows crash on me, but I mean, considering I'm still looking at you right now on a MacBook, it's
yeah. So, but anyway, yeah. So, been doing okay so far. All right, so we do need to get to our movie review, though. So, Mike, who's up for the
That's Colin.
Colin, all right.
Okay, Novocaine, which I saw 2 weeks ago. So this is okay. Standard plot here of guy meets girl, girl gets kidnapped. Movie then consists of guy trying to get girl back and basically going from place to place trying to get the girl back, and actually, death, credits. But this movie kind of acts like a parody of movies like this without actually, being a joke a second parody. So, main guy who in high school was called Novocaine by bullies cannot feel pain. And so usually in these movies, the good guy is getting beat up a lot, and it's like, how does he keep going? Well, this one, he can keep going because he can't feel pain. So he as long as he's conscious and can physically move, he can go. And that's what this movie does. It just goes and goes and goes and goes. Not really much more else to talk about other than there is a fabulous segment stolen from, I should say, this movie does a very good job of when it's referencing other movies, having somebody actually say that they're referencing the movie. So there's an entire Home Alone segment, and they actually say, this guy really likes Home Alone. So I really appreciate that they did that. So from just that, this is, it's an enjoyable movie. If you like that genre, I didn't really want to go into too many details here because I think it's a movie that's worth seeing. But here's what I'm going to say: I would give this movie just a smile because it's not, it's not going to be shnikes here. However, if you think back to the original Pee Wee Herman movie and the scene where Pee Wee Herman gave Francis the gum, and Francis is chewing the gum, and as he chews the gum, black ink comes out of Francis's mouth and drips down the chin. There's two scenes in this movie where they could have gone for that. They almost telegraphed that they were going to go for that, and they didn't do it. And the fact that they did not go for that easy gag moves us up to the SEG, because I greatly appreciate that they did not take the cheap and easy route there.
All right. All right, I'll go next, and then Mike, you want to do cleanup? Okay, so I had not watched this movie. It had been recommended for a long time on my queue, so I was glad that it came around. I think I spoiled Mike's summary of the movie when we first announced it. It is a very interesting movie. The condition, congenital insensitivity to pain, CIP, is an actual real genetic disorder that can occur. It's basically a 1 in a million condition, according to some quick Googling. So it's extremely rare, but it has been found with differing levels. So when the lead female character tells Novocaine in here, well, you're kind of like Superman. True. It's kind of cool. And the fact that this is the same character who we saw in Heads of State in a previous review, great. In fact, I just rewatched that the other day. So it really, fun little movie. It's definitely one of those popcorn films that you can watch and just kind of sit back, relax, suspend belief for a little while, and have some fun watching, especially if you want just a shoot 'em up, bang bang type movie. Don't take anything too seriously with this one, and I am going to give it an SEG, kind of the same as Colin, and just go from there. So yeah, I'm not going to ruin anything. It's great, it's good, and I love the line of, yeah, you're a middle-aged white guy, so you get off kind of easy. That was one of the best lines of the whole movie.
All right. So listen, I wanted to watch this movie a few times since it came out. I don't know why I never did. Side note here, I was watching this movie in my living room initially, and as karma likes to mess with me, the school buses were letting off right around the time of the hookup scene. And not knowing exactly how far it was going to go, I quickly had to stop and resume at a later time. A few things pissed me off about this movie. One, he is not Wolverine. He may not feel pain, but he doesn't heal quickly. He's more like Francis from Deadpool. And even without feeling pain, how is he not passed out from blood loss? Driving the ambulance into the docks, I am befuddled. Big words here. At how easy it was for them to drive through a gate. I mean, I live near one of the largest international ports out there. There is no way that you go through just one wooden crashable gate. With everything going on, and I had to watch this over a few days, so my notes are real scattered, but for the most part, I did enjoy this movie. I'm just not sold on how not feeling pain is actually a helpful thing because your body still has the reaction. I gave this a smirk. This is the anti-cobbler, I guess. I'm kind of impressed that they did make an entire movie out of this. Colin, you did make a good point that they if you look at it in terms of it being a parody of other movies of this type, then maybe I would have rated it higher, but I didn't go into it thinking that. But here's where maybe I have the problem. This concept was first introduced to me in a character in a TV show that was on the Sci-Fi Network called Painkiller Jane. And they played the concept out much better, in my opinion, in that show than they did here. Again, if I had gone into it thinking it was a parody of this type of character, maybe I would have felt different. Also, the fact that we didn't get to see more of Amber Midthunder sexy time, maybe I would have rated it higher. I did not realize that she was the same actress who was in The Ice Road with Liam Neeson. Now I'm going to have to go back and rewatch that.
Yeah. Well, and now I'm going to have to watch Painkiller Jane.
Painkiller Jane was Cristiano Loken.
Yeah. But there was a movie, too.
Was there a movie?
Yes, 2005 TV movie titled Painkiller Jane that starred Emmanuel Vagara as Jane Brown, a soldier exposed to biochemical weapon. And then the 2007 TV series.
Yeah, the TV series.
Which endows her with self-healing powers. TV movie in 2005 that then spawned the TV series. So, yep.
No, I will say I did almost down score this because of the idiotic scene where, and I always hate it when they do this in a movie. The bad guy has hostage with a knife or gun or whatever to the head, and then tells the police to put their guns down, and the police do. No. If the police would ever in real life were to put their guns down in that situation, they would all be fired. That is very much a no-no. So that's one of my pet peeves in Hollywood movies is when they do that. But I just the pie scenes just endeared me to the whole thing.
All right. Well, that does it for us this evening. Yes.
1 to 38.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we got to do that. Sorry.
I guess there's no number generator on Linux.
No, there is.
It's always random.org. But she'll find out
9.
what movie Shaggy's going to do.
Shaggy, you are up next. Oh, God. All right. I need to... Video unavailable.
Hey.
This was on YouTube.
Huh?
Laser Team 2.
Oh. Okay, how about... 21.
21. So please be available. Please be available. Please be available. It's available on Prime Video. An action-packed horror comedy about 3 college girls who go on a carefree vacation of drinking games, topless sunbathing, and sexual exploration. Their carefree fun comes to an abrupt end when toxic zombie beavers try to eat them. Ladies and gentlemen, Shaggy will be taking point on Zombievers.
We haven't watched Zombievers yet?
No, we have not. I hope you're satisfied.
I don't
what
know
you deserve.
how
This
we
would have been
haven't watched
Shaggy
it.
anyway.
Isn't there a sequel for Zombievers as well? Isn't there like Zombievers 2?
We are not going to.
All right.
We're not going to explore that yet.
Okay. Is it? All right. Cool. I'm good for it.
When was this from? This is from 2015. All right, because somebody wanted to start putting the years on these releases.
Oh, don't you worry. I think it was directed by who's in it? Stars Rachel Melvin, Courtney Palm, Lexi Atkins, but I believe it also has Steve O in it at some point.
This was directed by Jordan Rubin, who...
The Backstreet Boys are referenced in it. They're listed in the cast. And Bill Burr. What the hell is Bill Burr doing in Zombievers? All right, well... That ought to be fun. That ought to be fun. Okay. Well, with that said, you've been listening to PTR Radio here on the internet. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget, you can always check out ptrradio.com as well as all of our social media channels at PTR Radio. Where you can tune in to our podcast, get hooked up with that so that you never miss a show, as well as find out all of our social media channels at PTR Radio. You can also learn about the host there, as well as get in touch with us. You can leave us a voicemail message, and all the other fun ways that you can interact with us is there at ptrradio.com. Don't forget, the only way that we ever grow the show is by you telling all your friends, neighbors, hand out cards at church. However you like to tell people about the show, we are always interested in that. So, we are going to be coming back. When is our next show, guys?
If we go 2 weeks from today, that will be the 11th.
11th. That makes sense. All right. Yep. We'll do the 11th. Will be the next show. And
unless things change.
Yep. Unless things change. And so we do want to thank everybody for tuning into the show, and really appreciate you guys hanging out with us and dealing with our scheduling mix-ups and everything else. So we hope that you all tune in for the next show on hopefully 11th. If not, check out our social media channels. We will try and announce it then if we're going to make a change. With that said, I'm Shaggy.
I'm Colin.
I am Mike the 8 Man.
Stick a fork in us, folks. We are done. Later.